Hello, my name is Beth Beebe, and I've lived in Bloomington for 17 years with my husband John, who I've been married to for 27 years. I am a native Minnesotan, and I grew up in St. Louis Park, graduating from St. Louis Park High School. I have a degree in social work from Bethel University and a degree from San Jose State in elementary education. I am running for the Bloomington School Board because I believe my teaching experiences in Japan, Los Angeles, San Jose, and Eden Prairie, and my volunteer activities in the city of Bloomington, in the Bloomington schools, and in my neighborhood, bring relevant knowledge and expertise to the school board as they continue to make decisions to keep Bloomington schools strong for the future. While my sons are now grown, I want to support the quality and options in public education for all Bloomington students, current and those to come. I've stated that I am an investor, and what do I believe are the best and most important investments in our community and our country? Well, in my life, I have invested in families and children, my community, and education. Those are the most. First of all, my investment in families and children. Early on, I worked for a nanny for 5 summers. I was involved in summer programs for kids. I even counseled at a camp. In college, I worked at an inner city youth program and also had internships at a children's center, a shelter, and also at a residential treatment center for adolescent girls. After graduation from college, I moved to Japan, where I taught English to Japanese children and lived in the community. After I was married and had 2 sons, I was part of an organization called Mothers of Preschoolers and became a leader there. And when my children grew out of MOPS, I continued as a parent educator. My husband and I are premarital counselors and marriage mentors. And we have invested in many families. And the reason is that they are valuable for a stable society, and they are our future. Second, I have a history of investing in the community. I have been president of my homeowners association. I have been neighborhood block captain. I volunteered in our sons' schools, and while they were at Normandale Hills, I served on the site council for a 2-year term. I also got to know the students as I volunteered and began working with some at-risk children in a neighborhood nearby. I also got parents who were also interested in working with these children together, and we formed an organization called Connections while we met many different needs. I also have been an election judge, and I continue to look for ways that I can serve my community the best. Third, I continue to invest in education. I've been an educational consultant to an independent study program. I continue to be a parent educator and have spoken to over 50 groups. I've also been a substitute paraprofessional in the Bloomington School District. I research current trends in education and issues that affect educators and the schools. Being a member of the school board is another way that I can seek to invest in education. And I would like to, if I, Beth Beebe, am elected as a school board member, to use my interest in educational research to address the Bloomington students' declining math and reading scores. And I would also like to see how I can support and work towards solutions to implement and building these skills. I also want to support proven, independently evaluated programs such as the Bloomington Math and Reading Corps to help struggling students. I also want to work to promote and educate a greater understanding of career opportunities for Bloomington students, and also the educational requirements that those will need. And also, I know the referendum is coming up, and I will be supporting it as a means to continue to keep our school in the black financially. This is partly due to the lack of funds coming from the state and federal level to help with more of our special education programming to meet teacher and staff salaries. I will also help the board to make fiscally responsible decisions for the future. So please, vote for me. I'm committed to you, the community, and families. Vote Beth Beebe, November 7th. Thank you very much.
Greetings, I'm Tom Bennett, the current Vice Chair of the School Board, and I'm running for my second term. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for allowing me this opportunity to make this video. I'd also like to thank the League for all of the wonderful things they do in the community, educating our community and our voters about elections and issues. I'd like to thank the voters of Bloomington who elected me to the school board 4 years ago and entrusted me with this enormous responsibility. It has afforded me the opportunity to champion Bloomington Public Schools and to advocate for public education and children, which has been my lifelong calling. I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico, and 13 years ago, my wife Danielle and I moved to Bloomington. We have 2 children who are currently attending Normandale Hills Elementary School, and they're in 3rd and 4th grade. I am a special education teacher, and I began my teaching career 17 years ago in Albuquerque. When I moved to Minnesota, I worked in Burnsville, working mostly with EBD and SLD students. I put my career on hold several years ago so I could be a stay-at-home father and raise my children. This past summer, I graduated from Mankato State University with an Ed Specialist degree in educational leadership and a Director of Special Education licensure. And this fall, I'm returning to the classroom in Hopkins so I can get back to what I love, which is working with students with disabilities. I'm running for re-election because I'm passionate about public education. I've been in public education my entire life, from K-12 to community college to universities. I've only worked in public education schools, and I have volunteered hundreds of hours in public education schools, either be it in serving lunches or going on field trips, or tutoring or mentoring students, or just helping out in the classroom and being on various PTAs and parent advisory councils. I choose to send my children to public school because I think that public schools are a true reflection of our real world. I think that it is a place where every student is treated equally, and it doesn't matter your ability level or your income level or any other defining characteristics. Every student has the right to a quality-free public education. Over the past 4 years, one of my biggest priorities has been to increase engagement and collaboration with students, parents, community members, and teachers, and other elected officials. And we've had some really good successes in that area. We were able to add student school board representatives to the board so that we could have the all-important student voice at the table, and they could help us with our decision-making. We're also able to add parents and community members to several different committees, such as the Calendar Committee and the newly formed Bloomington Advisory Committee. And also last year, with the advice of our teachers, we were able to start the Teacher Advisory Committee so that teachers and administration could work together to collaborate on ideas and initiatives and to help improve communication. We've also had several joint meetings with our state representatives and our city council, and last year I was proud to work with the rest of the school board and the city council to put together a joint statement on immigration so that we could declare with one voice that we are one Bloomington and we welcome all. I think this type of leadership and collaborative thinking is what I want to bring into my second term as a board member. In closing, I want to say that I know that there are a lot of good candidates who are running for school board this year, and I'll understand if I don't earn one of your 4 votes. But I'm asking you to please vote for the referendum. I would rather lose this election and the referendum pass than win this election and the referendum fail, because I think that if the referendum fails, we all lose. If you want to learn more about me, you can visit my website at tomfortheboard.com. Thank you for your time, and remember to vote on November 7th.
Hello, my name is John Warwick, and I'm running for school board in Bloomington. As a small business owner, parent, and grandparent in the city, I want to bring my expertise to create positive change in our schools. I've built a career in education. I'm a small business owner. I work with governments, universities, and schools all around the world to look at the future of work and what we need to do in schools today for future job needs that we cannot yet imagine. I have a PhD in Educational Policy Administration from the University of Minnesota and a Master's of International Management from St. Thomas. And you can learn more about me and my credentials at johnwarwick.com. Bloomington's competitive advantage rests within our teachers. The district should be the top place to go for our educators, and we need to keep that position within our region. We've lost some great teachers to neighboring districts, and we need to keep them here. So let's build on quality while carefully using our limited resources. Let's address the issue of declining morale in the district and begin celebrating the value that each teacher brings and provide the resources they need to bring out the best in our kids. My interest in running was sparked by the teacher contract negotiations during the past school year. I feel that the voices of teachers, staff, and parents were simply not heard, and that the hardworking people who work in a district were shown little respect. This goes far beyond just saying thanks or placing an apple on a teacher's desk. Our teachers and staff deserve fair and open contract negotiations and to be treated with dignity and as the professionals that they are. We can do better. Our school board needs to take a leadership stance, ask tough questions, and step forward to advocate policies that promote strong education, support for teachers and staff, and improve morale. Now, when the superintendent's contract was renewed 1 year early, before the upcoming levy referendum, I became certain that this is a time to create change for the better. We need to have a school board that asks the right questions and sets good policies. This is how any government organization should be run, and any business as well. We need positive action and we need positive leadership, and I want to be a part of that. I will speak out to ensure that the voices of all are heard: teachers, staff, parents, and community members. If we are to build a capacity to improve our schools, we need an engaged community, and we also need to engage with the community that we serve. This involves placing trust that we can come together as students, school workers, government bodies, businesses, and other community members to create a bright future for all. So, as a school board member, I'll ask tough questions that have not been asked. I'll voice opinions that may differ than those presented by the administration. I will use my business background as an asset to be a watchdog to make sure our tax dollars are not wasted. I will hold our board and administration responsible for its activity and behavior. And I will do this with respect and civility so that the board can set an example for improving morale within the district. I will be a school board member who listens, who is more present in our schools, transparent in how we operate, and I will honor the work, effort, and skills it takes to be an effective educator. It's time for positive change. Please vote for me to put our kids and teachers first so that parents can be confident that their kids will be ready for their best futures. You can learn about me, my background, and my vision at johnmoravec.com. Thank you. Again, my name is John Moravec, and I'm asking to earn your vote.
Hello, my name is Michael Polk. I am running for the school board here in Bloomington. So I have the experience working with kids in our Bloomington school district. We need different leaders in our school board to help bring our school back to normal, back to the top 10 school district in our state. We were number 10 10 years ago. Now we're number 43 in our state. I would be, I messed up again. I am running because I know I can be a leader in our school district. I am running because we need change. I am running because I am a leader. I am a leader on 3 different occasions. I am a leader at the SEIU union. I am a leader at SEIU in Wayzata for custodians. I am the steward. And I'm on the executive board for SEIU, over 9,000 members here in Minnesota. I am willing to work and continue to work with our kids, our teachers, our principals, and everyone to make sure our kids are educated and they are able to go out in the work world or go to college or come back and work in trades. I would love to see our school bring back lots of trades for our kids. Every kid is not willing to go to college. Every kid is not set to go to college. But I think by us bringing trades into our schools to help those kids that doesn't want to go to college, but able to work and help protect their families, support their families, and help support our community, I think that would be a plus for our school district, for our community, and that will make us stronger. And we can become one of the top school districts in our state to be leaders. We need leaders. We do not need followers. We need someone, and we need someone badly, because we're having a lot of different things going on in our schools that is not correct. I work in the school district. I have seen a lot of different things that happen. I know we got a lot of good stuff going on in our schools, but we do need leaders. We do not need any more followers. We need leaders. And I am so qualified to be a leader that I just don't know what to say sometimes, because I have received an award for the work I do in mentoring kids and working with people in our community, and not just our community here in Bloomington, in Wayzata too. I would say a national award called the RISE Award. And I truly, truly need your vote to help make a difference here in Bloomington in our school district. I know there's a lot of people in our community that got a lot of concerns with our school board. I'm willing to work hard to get the respect back from all our communities. And I'm willing to work hard with whoever's on the school board with me, and I'm willing to work with every aspect of our school district, with every person that works in our school, every person that will want to come and work in our school, because I know we can turn this around. It's just that we need new leaders. And in order to be a leader, you have to be able to go places and do things that the ordinary person would not want to do. And I'm a voice for you. I'm a voice for our community, and that's one thing about me. I'm passionate about what I do. I do not do this for money. I do this for the passion of our kids, the education of our kids, and I know that we can do this together. I can't do this alone, and I can't do this if I'm not on the board to help. I can continue to do the work I do, and I will always do the work I do, but to help make a difference, because you told me you want a difference, I'm willing to help make that difference. I am willing to make us stronger. I am willing to make our community stronger. And I would love to see my name on the ballot come November 7th as one of the voters that you voted in, one of the candidates, because I am a true candidate. I am a true leader. If you know me, you know what type of person I am. And I would love for everyone that don't know me, get to know me, and give me that opportunity to show that I'm one of the best leaders that we can have on that board, because I am not a follower. I will never be a follower, and I appreciate it. Thank you, and God bless. Come November, I hope I get your vote, and if you have any time between now and November to help me do some door knocking, I appreciate it, because more and more I continue to knock on doors, the more and more people will get to know me, and we can win this thing. Thank you very much.
Greetings. My name is Paige Roman, and I am a candidate for the Bloomington School Board. Thank you for taking time to learn more about me and why I am the right fit for our community. I'm a candidate for the school board because I believe that public education gives our children the tools they need to succeed. It's the ultimate pay it forward and a hallmark of American democracy. Every child has the potential to achieve their goals with the right guidance and support. I know that a successful school system is more than buildings and books and budgets. It's parents who are involved because they see their child growing in a place that supports and celebrates their family. It's community members who share their hard-earned dollars, their time, and their talents to support a top-notch education system so tomorrow might be better than today. And it's business owners who know that a strong school system is the heart of a vibrant community, which attracts people to fill their jobs and buy their goods and services. My family lives in a great Bloomington neighborhood, centrally located between the east and west sides. We have 2 children, one who attends Oak Grove Middle School and one who attends Washburn Elementary. I've been involved in my children's schools as a parent volunteer, and I also serve on Bloomington's 2040 Comprehensive Plan Advisory Committee. My career has been focused on education at all levels, starting as an elementary teacher, then working with college students on their individual development, and eventually working with university faculty and board governance on all aspects of higher education. Bloomington schools have just wrapped their celebration marking 100 years, we have much to be proud of, with a long legacy of both excellence in education and community support for the district. These are pride points we should never take for granted. They are based on a foundation of trust, and as a school board member, working hard to keep the community's trust will be my #1 priority. Trust is the key to addressing some of our challenges. The district is asking voters to approve a 10-year operating referendum at the ballot box this fall. I am fully supportive of this ask, which provides about 17% of our school's budget. When the district asks for the community's financial support, there is an element of trust involved. Trust that the last referendum was spent responsibly, that administrative costs have been contained, and that opportunities to streamline operations have been taken. More simply, trust that their dollars are being spent directly on students. Our community also should trust that past investments in facilities are being well stewarded and protected for the long term. You can expect I will be focused on these priorities. Teacher contract negotiations in 2015 and 2016 were difficult. We can strengthen trust between teachers and the administration by actively soliciting input and participation in decision-making from all of our staff. Good ideas are not just the province of board members or school leadership. Those on the front lines have thoughts on how to improve student outcomes, drive cost efficiencies, and reshape education that can be transformative. You can expect that I will ask how recommendations brought before the board have been shaped by input from our staff. National conversations about immigration have led to fears for some in our community, including students in our classroom. Regardless of your position on this issue, our schools should be safe spaces for all students. Families must be able to trust that schools are places where their children are welcome, are celebrated for who they are, and have equal opportunities to learn and grow. This affects all families because when schools feel like a safe place, distractions are fewer and academic success is greater for all students. You can expect that I will keep the issue of inclusion on the minds of the board and school leadership. Our schools are complicated places with needs that are broad and deep. I am committed to understanding how issues impact everyone, students, staff, and stakeholders, and I will work to earn and keep your trust. If you have questions, please visit my website, www.paigeroman.com, where you will find additional information as well as contact details. I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters for the opportunity to share my thoughts with you and ask that you cast a vote for me anytime between September 22nd and November 7th.
Hello, I'm Jim Sorum, a current Bloomington School Board member, and I'm seeking re-election to another 4-year term this November 7th. This 4-year commitment for 4 of us to work with 3 others to govern a multi-million-dollar school district wisely, which means maintaining a vision and a mission so that our learners can thrive in a rapidly changing world. It also means following a strategic plan that creates pathways to graduation and beyond. It means being good stewards of all of our financial resources, and it means building positive relationships with all of our students, residents, and businesses. One reason I'm running for school board is because I want to rejoin a team that has produced state and national award-winning schools. A team that honors our employees by providing them with compensation and benefits to match their top-notch dedication and commitment to our schools and students. Now, I believe in the district's strategic plan, the vision, mission, and core values of respect, responsibility, integrity, community service, honesty, and teamwork. These core values, which are seen on the walls of all of our schools for our students to see and model, must start at the top, the school board. The role of the 7-member school board is to govern, that is, to provide the vision of the district and translate that vision into policies. The board then hires a superintendent to carry out the management of the district operations. He makes decisions to implement the policies and hire the brightest and best teachers and staff to care for and nurture our students to be the best they can be. Another reason I'm seeking re-election is all about relationships. Over the years, I've made it a point to know every principal, secretary, custodian, and school nurse. That's the front line of every school. I have visited teachers, paras, custodians, clerks, food service personnel, and bus drivers. I've gone to PTA meetings and visited classrooms in progress to talk to the students about school governance. I feel it's important for a school board member to go to all 19 facilities in our district to appreciate what's going on at the sites and hear from so many of our employees. On a personal note, my wife Diana and I have lived in Bloomington 35 years. We have 3 adult children in Bloomington, and they graduated from Kennedy. We now have 5 grandchildren under the age of 14 who attend different schools here. I recently retired as head of the cost accounting department from a multi-million-dollar international manufacturing firm. This background has been very helpful in making budget and policy decisions for the school board. I have served on many advisory and school committees, and while on the board served as chair, vice chair, and treasurer, liaison to the high school league, and representative to various conferences. I've held top leadership positions in various organizations and business groups, served on boards of directors for nonprofit, religious, and government agencies. I'm on the board for Beyond the Yellow Ribbon Veterans Assistance Group and a mentor for immigrant family programs. My main platform has been, and still is, doing what is best for kids. That's all kids. I realize that Bloomington is becoming more diverse in many ways, and the school district and the city are in the forefront with many programs and policies to ensure all children have the opportunity to learn and grow to their fullest. Now, I hope I've been able to portray myself as a positive, experienced, progressive, and knowledgeable candidate who understands the importance that this district is to have a comprehensive framework in which to provide our students a learning path from birth to graduation, and for every student to realize there is more than one academic pathway to success. Electing 4 members from this group of 11 will not be easy because of the commitment by everyone here. And some people might say we need younger people or new voices on the board. I agree somewhat, but what is really needed is to have a supportive, involved, moderate, friendly, and business-experienced veteran, like myself, who wants to rejoin the team to help lead us to become a championship district. I ask for your support and vote on November 7th.
First, I would like to begin by thanking the League of Women Voters for this opportunity. Hello, everyone. I'm Dawn Stiga. I am currently serving my first term on the Bloomington School Board. I feel like I've been advocating for children and public schools all of my life. After our son was diagnosed with autism, I volunteered with several state advocacy groups. I met with elected officials at the state and federal level, served on various committees, and testified at hearings. Some of the improvements I worked on were increased access to quality early childhood education, including social and emotional development in the assessments for kindergarten readiness, adequate school funding, reducing the use of seclusion and restraint in Minnesota schools, the development of a Minnesota Autism Spectrum Disorder teacher license. When I visit our Bloomington schools, I see children benefiting from the success of this work. During this time, I was appointed to 3 state task forces. I believe I know how to collaborate to reach a common goal since I was appointed by both Republican and DFL party leadership. As a parent, I served on School Site Council, Diversity Committee, and the Question Materials Committee. I was the parent representative on 2 staff interview committees. I served as vice chair of the District Curriculum Advisory and chair of the Special Education Community Advisory Council, known as CCAC. During this time, I learned about the Minnesota Department of Education's Positive Behavior Supports Intervention training for schools. I brought this information to CCAC, and I'm thrilled that the majority of our buildings are now PBIS schools. I have worked in most of our schools as a paraprofessional substitute, which was a great experience that allowed me to look at many of our programs from the inside. This is the 4th referendum I have volunteered on. I also volunteer at my church, co-host my National Night Out party, and I am a former City of Bloomington Commissioner of Human Rights. My first term on the Bloomington Board of Education began in January 2014, and I received the Director's Award from the Minnesota School Board Association by the 2015-16 school year. I was also elected to the School Boards Association Delegates Assembly. In Bloomington, our children have talented and dedicated staff, involved parents, and a supportive community. We have nationally recognized early childhood and gifted and talented programs. 9 of our schools are nationally recognized Blue Ribbon Schools of Excellence, and 8 are designated Minnesota Schools of Excellence. Since my election to the board, we have added student board members. I supported this change because I believe the student voice should be at the table. I also supported the changes for the district has made to increase opportunities for more teachers to serve in leadership positions. I have served as Vice Chair of School Board and Chair of the Community Engagement Committee. I helped launch and serve on the newly formed Bloomington Advocacy Committee. I believe that a quality education for all is essential to our democracy. We must continue to work together to provide the best educational outcomes for our children. I want to continue to put my experience and passion to work for the children of this community. Please vote to re-elect me on Tuesday, November 7th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dan Starett. I'm running for one of the 4 open seats on the school board this fall. Bloomington schools formed the foundation of my educational path. I grew up in Bloomington and attended elementary school at Normandale Hills and Olson, went on to what was then Olson Junior High, and graduated from Jefferson High School. Inspired by the example of Mr. Hayden, one of my history teachers, I decided I wanted to be a history teacher also, just like him. I did end up with a degree in secondary education and thoroughly enjoyed student teaching, which included clinical experience in a classroom with emotional behavior disorder students. I knew the powerful impact teachers make in the lives of students and wanted to pay forward what had been given to me as a student. I started out substitute teaching in Bloomington in public schools, but ended up working with college students through a national nonprofit organization. Over a decade later, a graduate degree in human resource and change leadership launched me into a second career as an independent consultant for nonprofit organizations. Recently, I started working with leaders at the Minnesota Department of Human Services to improve organizational impact of programs that serve well over 1 million Minnesotans. I'm now completing a doctorate of education in leadership, and am excited to see how that educational experience will continue to shape the career path that Bloomington schools started me on so many years ago. I'm a different person because of the teachers that invested in and believed in me along the way. Wherever it takes us in life, I believe education offers us one of the greatest opportunities for growth and development, and I want to ensure that opportunity for current and future students in Bloomington Public Schools. Growth and development are terms educational theorists spend a lot of time thinking about. When discussing the word growth, John Dewey once said, "The most important attitude that can be formed is that of a desire to go on learning." The term development takes into consideration the whole student as a dynamic being experiencing all kinds of personal and environmental change. While educational theory is not everyone's area of personal interest, I know that Bloomington teachers put it into practice every day with excellence. I know this because my kids are now in Bloomington Public Schools. My daughters are in 3rd and 5th grades at Westwood Elementary, and my son started at Oak Grove Middle School this fall. We are zoned for Kennedy when they get to high school, so in a way I feel I have and will experience a significant cross-section of Bloomington schools. I'm personally invested in maintaining the standards of excellence that we sometimes take for granted around here. Growth and development are not just educational theories, however. They are part of my profession as an organization development specialist. Even the best organizations need to work hard to maintain excellence, and every organization has areas in which they can improve. Bloomington Public Schools is no different. As a member of the school board, I will apply my experience to ensure that we continue to think not only about maintaining our standards of excellence, but also about strategically developing for the future. My vision for this future development includes 3 overlapping areas: empowered educators, engaged communities, and successful students. In my conversations with educators and district officials, I know that not everything is working as well as it can and should. Like many districts, Bloomington faces teacher shortages and high turnover rates, particularly among people of color. These issues need to be addressed in order to keep classroom sizes small and to serve our increasingly diverse student population. We need to support our teachers and classroom paraprofessionals by providing them with the resources they need to create learning environments that they were trained to develop. I fully support the 2017 operating referendum as part of a strategic budgeting initiative for empowering our educators to do their jobs well. I believe we need elected officials that engage our communities by bringing people together and listening to our residents. In my profession, I know the importance of bringing together diverse groups of people in order to make the best decisions. If that isn't taking place at school board meetings, then we need to bring the conversation out to roundtable events and forums, coffee shops, and even living rooms. Schools are ultimately about helping students learn and develop a love for learning that will lay the foundation for a successful future. Bloomington Schools was a pathway for my own growth and development, and it will continue to be a pathway of success for students in our community. Our students deserve the best education because they are the workforce and leaders of the future. Investing in them is investing in us. Thanks for listening and for considering me as one of your top 4 choices for school board on November 7th. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Marsha Smeltzer. I'm a single mother and a school psychologist working in Minneapolis public schools. I'm asking for your support because I want to be your advocate on the Bloomington School Board. I firmly believe that a strong, inclusive education is the single most powerful foundation that we as a community can provide to all our young people. Being a graduate of public schools myself, I can personally attest to the value of a solid education for students in our community. For example, I was fortunate enough after high school to attend college and then to work in the private sector. When my children entered Bloomington Public Schools, I frequently volunteered and soon became passionate about education, which inspired me to become the first in my family to earn a doctorate in school psychology. While the personal benefits of my educational opportunities are probably fairly obvious, what sometimes gets overlooked is the benefit for this type of background for the broader community. As an employee in the private sector, I made valuable contributions to the companies I worked with, helping their businesses be successful. Good for business. Volunteering in Bloomington Public Schools allowed me to be of assistance to students, teachers, and administrators, and to participate in a positive overall educational experience. Good for schools. And as a school psychologist, I work with many students and am completely committed to guiding toward the best possible outcomes and supporting their dreams of going on to college, careers, and a better life. Good for students. That's who I am. With decades of experience in both the private and public sectors, I understand how policies are conceived and implemented. I understand how ideas can be translated into action, and I understand the need to keep our best possible outcomes in focus. Through the Bloomington School Board, I will emphasize 3 major goals: safe schools for all students, championing diversity and equity, and enhancing work readiness. I work every day to ensure the schools I serve are safe schools for all students, and that's more than bricks and mortar. It is making sure that students and teachers feel safe and valued by building a positive community and helping set expectations. This will use the best practices in preventative and positive behavior supports, restorative justice and restoring relationships, discipline strategies that focus on teaching problem-solving skills, and helping students become accountable and responsible members of the larger community. Good for schools. That's what I do. The importance of championing diversity and equity can't be overestimated, and it cannot be sacrificed. It means treating each member of the community as a unique individual, as someone who is valued specifically because of their unique character and background. It means observing and facilitating how each student can productively bring their individual experiences into the community and how the community can help each student change and grow. It means providing every student an environment in which to learn without the fear of being ridiculed or feeling they have to hide. Championing diversity and equity means that students feel valued as unique individuals, sharing their culture and traditions within the school community. It means that students who are gender nonconforming or members of sexually marginalized groups and their family members feel comfortable, welcomed, and supported within the community, as well as being treated as important and valid members of the community. Above all, championing diversity and equity means that all school community members are committed to a socially just society that treats students, families, and staff as valued and unique participants. Good for students. That's what I believe. Expanding work readiness means building on our current foundation by expanding and providing our students with more entry points to higher paying union careers in building trades, healthcare technology, and more. Developing partnerships with building trades and other highly skilled union groups can supply ideal options for students who may not want or be ready to attend college. Since many trade unions already have apprenticeship programs, this initiative focuses on building on those. This is good for business. This is where we can go. I'm Marsha Smeltzer, single mother, community activist, school volunteer, and school psychologist and educator. That's who I am, that's what I do, that's what I believe, and that's where we can go. I hope you will do me the honor